time. Big time. But you got to be willing to be coachable. And a lot of guys just aren't. They either are not good listeners, or they think that all of a sudden, for some reason, they know it all. I can sort of relate to that because, I was a high school American and all that stuff. And I came to Towson, I thought I knew it all too. And after the first time Coach Ruck punched me in the face, I started to come to me that maybe I didn't know it all. And then, and after a while I started to figure out that I didn't know everything there was to know about lacrosse. And then once that realization came to me, then I started to really be a student of the game. And that's what we'd like you to do, start to be a student of the game. Coach Shriver, who's the coach of boys lacrosse, is going to come out and introduce all the guys. What I would like you to do is just listen to some of their records and everything, and I'll tell you two things. The All-Americans are great coaches, but you'll also find some guys who are lousy lacrosse players are also great coaches. And they have a lot of information to spread to you, and you should be willing to listen to that information as well. Some of the best players are also some of the worst coaches. You just don't know what you're going to get into in terms of coaching. But you should always try to be coachable. All right, so listen carefully. So, anybody have any questions about how things are going to go? If you have a question about what group you're going to be in or anything like that, you list those papers over there, list them on a wall, okay? And you 8 through, I think it's 8 through 13 or something like that. Those kids, most of them are going on a bus over to Bergen. All right? If you have a problem as to what group you're in, just check the paper and then find that coach. Okay? Now with the coaches up there, we're going to have a couple talks here, and then after that's over, we're going to register for the coaches clinic up at 3:50. That'll start at 9:45. So you might want to wander down there around 9:30, 20 up, start checking in, and then we'll get started about 9:45 for the coaches clinic. The coaches clinic will be over before, or right around.
But one of the jobs that we have every year is to introduce you to the guys that will be working with you all day. My name is Bobby Shriver, and I'm the lacrosse coach at Boys Lacrosse School. And really my function here today is we bring some of our lacrosse players over to help out the coaches that are the guys working with you. And my other function is I have the pleasure every year of introducing the coaches that are here to work with. It's really a lot of fun to come out to this every year. This is the 8th year we've done it. At a goalie clinic, it seems to get bigger and bigger every year. There's approximately 170 of you here this year. It's always for us, and I think for the guys that are coaching you, it's the beginning of the lacrosse season. And there's always that sort of anticipation in the air, and in that vein, it makes it pretty exciting to be here. Some of the guys are coaching now, they've been out. Some of these guys are playing now. Some of the Towson State guys have been playing for a week. So lacrosse is obviously in the air, and that makes it a little bit special. And then the last thing is what makes it special is the uniqueness of the position you guys play. There's no doubt about it that it is the most pressure-packed position in the game. And the fact that 170 of you coming out here to try to learn something today would be good evidence of that. First, Tim Colt. Tim over here is a graduate of Falston High School, where he was an all-county player. He is now a sophomore here at Towson State, and is one of the 4 goalies here on the team. Mark Lamontia. Mark here. Mark also is a goalie here at Towson State this year. He's a graduate of Elmont High School on Long Island. He's been here at Towson State in the program for 5 years and been a big part of the goalie program here. John Cooper. John Cooper is a graduate of Delaney High School, and then he was a 4-year starter at William & Mary. Former Southern lacrosse official, coached at a high school and youth league. John has been at this goalie clinic for 8 straight years. He does a great job. Bruce Winan. Bruce is a graduate of St. Paul School and Washington College. goalie clinic. Brian Gregory. Brian Gregory is a graduate of Delaney High School, and University of Virginia. He's an all-county Summer League All-Star. Played a lot of lacrosse for Mount Washington Lacrosse Club. He also is worked a fair amount in youth lacrosse. Also is a very big golf supporter. As a matter of fact, he works at Jay Perkins Golf Shop. Combining the two skills, he talks a lot about the uniqueness of golf and lacrosse in the goalie position. Jared DiLorenzo. Jared DiLorenzo is a graduate of Levittown Division High School in Long Island. I had the pleasure of going to Australia with Jerry. He was a world under-19 performer, where one of the goalies that the USA won the World Championships, junior lacrosse. He spent some time at Nassau Community College in Syracuse, and now he's a goaltender here at Towson State. Brian Whalen. Brian is another goaltender here at Towson. He's a freshman from Canterbury High School in Connecticut. Jared Caldwell. Jared Caldwell is a graduate of Boys Latin High School and the University of Baltimore. He was an assistant coach at Boys Latin many years ago and at the University of Baltimore. He's been working in the Parkville Recreation Program for about 15 years. Larry Quinn. Larry's a graduate of Levittown Memorial High School on Long Island and Johns Hopkins University. He probably doesn't need too much introduction because I feel most of you know who he is. He's two-time college player of the year. He's an all-world player. He's been on 2 world championship teams. Certainly one of the top goaltenders of all time, Larry Quinn. Stuart Ridgely. Stuart is a newcomer here to the goalie clinic. He's a graduate of St. Paul's in 1986 and University of Virginia in 1990. He spent last year as an assistant coach at the University of Virginia in charge of goaltenders. This year he's an assistant lacrosse coach at St. Paul's School where he will also be in charge of the goaltenders. David Applefeld. David is a graduate of French School at New Hampshire College. He's on-stone hero of French. Heroes All-Star. Maryland played the Maryland State games in the goal. He's played some for Baltimore Lacrosse Club and also playing lacrosse now for the Maryland Lacrosse Club. Carl Voigt. Carl Voigt is a graduate of Boys Latin School in 1985 where he was an All-American defenseman. He played goalie when he was for his entire lacrosse career until he was about a sophomore in high school. We had another goaltender and they were both good. We asked Carl to play defense. He unselfishly switched. Played defense in high school, was a high school American. Went to Maryland where he was also a defenseman, captain of their team in Maryland's. Won the award as given the greatest contribution to Maryland lacrosse. Also a very good goalie coach. John O'Farrell. John is a graduate of Loyola High School, University of Delaware. He's coached the lacrosse at Mount St. Joe and Baltimore Lacrosse Club. And John is a veteran of this goalie camp. He's been here for also 8 years. Tom Sears. Tom's another goalie, kind of like Larry Quinn, who doesn't need much introduction. Tom was a high school American at Calvert Hall. He was a 3-time first-team All-American at the University of North Carolina, where he won the national championship. C. Mark and Kelly Award winner, which is given to the outstanding goalie in the country for 2 years. Jim Lovell. Jim Lovell is a 3-time all-club goaltender for the Baltimore Lacrosse Club. Member of the USA World Team in 1967. He's coached Baltimore Lacrosse Club, and for about the past 10 years, Jim's been a coach at Cockeysville Recreation League. Mark Williams, another Towson State goaltender. Mark is a graduate of Lock Raven High School and Towson State, of course, where he was an all-metro in high school. He's MVP at Towson State his senior year. He played the North-South game and played some lacrosse for the Lacrosse Lacrosse Club. Tom Gamper is a graduate of Gilman School and Bowdoin College. He was an all-metro in high school, small college All-American while he was at Bowdoin. Played some in Colorado when he was going to school in Colorado. He also has spent a lot of time working with youth lacrosse. Dave Creighton. Dave, another 8-year veteran of this goalie clinic, is a graduate of Calvert Hall High School and Hobart College, where he was College Player of the Year his senior year. He was on the Hobart teams that started really their string of outstanding he helped develop was Tom Sears. Dave Creighton, Andy Moxco. Andy is a graduate of Randallstown High School in 1975, where he was the captain of the team and an all-county performer. He then went to William and Mary, where he was the captain of the team, graduated in 1979. For the past 8 years, he's been the head coach of McDonough School, and McDonough has been a perennial big conference power in MSA lacrosse, and for the first year, he's excited, I know, because McDonough's coming up and going to play in the MSA A conference this spring. Barney Aburn. Barney's a graduate of Towson High School and the University of North Carolina. He's a three-time All-American there. He's been a club all-star performer for the last couple of years for the Chesapeake Lacrosse Club. He had, I think, they lost like a 6 overtime game last year to Mount Washington, who eventually won the club championship. Barney had like 40 saves in the game. He's a tremendous goaltender. Adam Shapinski, who is up here, who you are. Adam is a parent of a couple of lacrosse players that I had the fortune of coaching at Boys Latin. He has been a member of this goalie clinic for the last 8 years. He does a lot of filming. You all might have seen some of his film tapes, and we're very happy to have him back again. Wayne Byerly. Wayne here. Wayne is a guy that really organizes goalie clinic, and he's going to step up here in a second. But Wayne is a graduate of Boys Latin at Western Maryland College, where he was an all MAC performer. It was his idea to try to get this goalie clinic started, and you'll be hearing a lot from Wayne today. Paul Russo. Paul is a graduate of Oceanside High School in Long Island in 1973. He's a 4-year starter, off and on starter here at Towson State. Graduated in 1977. He was a member of their 1974 NCAA Division II lacrosse championship team. He also has been working in recreation lacrosse up in Edgewood for about the past 10 years. Chuck Nolan. Chuck's a graduate of Boys Latin and Western Maryland College. He's a captain while he was at Western Maryland. He's an All-Mid-Atlantic Conference performer. He's a Division III All-American. He's been coaching in the Summer League. Many of you guys might recognize Chuck. He's been doing Lock Raven Summer League for about the last 10 years. Bill Gamper. His brother Tom I introduced. Bill's a graduate of Gilman School and Yale University. I had the pleasure of coaching with Billy for 15 years at Boys Latin, where during that time he coached the goaltenders and was responsible for a lot of the quality goaltenders that we've had the fortune to have in school. Brian Waters. Brian is a graduate of Boys Latin High School and the University of Maryland. He was an All-Metro in high school, first team All-Maryland player. He's an All-Atlantic Coast Conference performer while he was in Maryland. He's an honorable mention All-American while at Maryland. Skip Seidel. Skip, another veteran, 8-year veteran in this goalie clinic. He's a graduate of John Carroll Western Maryland College, where he's an assistant coach. Played some for Baltimore Lacrosse Club and also for Bud Light. Keith Rump. Keith over here is a graduate of Towson High School, 1978, and then Towson State University in 83. He's played a number of years for the Central Atlantic Club for Highlandtown. Keith's father, Carl, has been the head coach here at Towson State for about 100 years, I think. Bill Kearney. Bill, another 8-year veteran of the goalie clinic. He's a graduate of Parkville High School and another Towson State goalie. He's been a former assistant coach here at Towson State and has also coached in the Lock Raven Summer League. Later on. I think that's kind of it. Again, I know that it's a little time-consuming introducing everybody, but you all, these guys have spent not only their time coming here today to be with you, but they spent probably, you know, if you added up all the years of experience they have, not only coaching but playing goalie, you know, it probably is 400 or 500 years of goalie experience out here that will work with you today. It's a wonderful group. I think you have an opportunity to get something accomplished today, and please have a good time. I would like now to introduce Wayne Byerly.
I just want to welcome everyone here, and hope that today is profitable for you and you learn just one or two things. If you walk away with that, you'll be very much better off for it. At this time we're going to have a few speakers. I'm going to let Jeff Clark, who's talking to you already, introduce those speakers. Afterwards, you can stay in the bleachers and give you a few administrative things. If a couple coaches call in sick or whatever, but we'll sort that out. But right now, just kind of keep your ears pinned to a good college coach. We've got a referee that's going to talk to you. Just keep your ears open and we'll be shooting on you shortly. Thank you. Jeff Clark.
Actually, I had the honor of introducing the speaker, you all. The speaker that's about to talk to you is a graduate of Gilman High School and the University of Pennsylvania. His name is G.W. Mix. For those of you that didn't know him as a lacrosse player, I think many of you may now know him as a lacrosse coach. When he graduated from Penn, he spent 4 or 5 years as an assistant coach there under Tony Seaman. He then went to Franklin and Marshall College and was the head coach for 3 years. He was a Division III Coach of the Year in his second season at Franklin and Marshall. And just last year, he had the tremendous pleasure of being hired back to his alma mater and became the head coach at the University of Pennsylvania. He was there last year. This is his second year at Penn. He's come down here from Philadelphia to say a few words for you today. So let's welcome G.W. Mix.
When Coach Schreiber and Coach Clark called me up and asked me to come down here and speak to you before this clinic got started, I got pretty excited about it. This is a pretty nice opportunity for me to come down and meet some of you young guys and some of the future All-American goalies in the country. And I started thinking about it. I went to sleep last night and I had a dream. And in that dream, an angel came to me and said, Coach Mix, you can have any wish that you want before you go to heaven. So I decided that my dream, my wish was going to be to play in a game against the best players I could imagine and shut them all out. I wanted to play against Gary Gate, Paul Gate, John Tucker, Max Ford, some of the greatest players in the game and shut them all out. And then I felt like my life would be satisfied. I could go on to heaven and I'd be a happy person. So I got my opportunity, I played in that game and it went just as I had planned. These guys are shooting from everywhere, doing all kinds of crazy things, and I stopped everything. And then it came time and the angel took me up to heaven. And St. Peter was there at the pearly gates. He said, Coach Mix, come on inside. So I went inside with him and we walked into a great room, much larger than this. And on all the walls, there were just clocks everywhere. I couldn't imagine so many clocks. And finally I said to St. Peter, St. Peter, what are all these clocks for? He said, Coach Mix, God likes to keep track of people on earth. He likes to make sure that people are doing the right thing and taking advantage of the opportunities that he provides for them. He wanted to make sure that the talents God gives these people on earth, they're using and they're not wasting. So these aren't clocks, these are meters. This is what God uses to make sure that you're using the talents on earth that he gave you. So I'm real curious now. I want to check up on some of my friends. I look around and finally I find mine. And it's moving a little bit, so I felt pretty good. I felt pretty good. That meant I was taking pretty good advantage of the opportunities that I was given. And I'm looking around and I'm looking for my friend Larry Quinn's clock, and his is at a dead stop. I mean, Larry Quinn took advantage of every opportunity he had, and look where it got him. Tremendous career in the goal, and he's a great person. And I'm looking around, and I can't find Coach Schreiber's clock anywhere. I just can't find it. And finally, I said, St. Peter, where's the meter that measures how Coach Schreiber's taking advantage of his talents? St. Peter said, oh, that's up in the attic. We use that for a fan. Look, what I wanted to say to you here today, fellas, is you've got to take advantage of these opportunities. Your mom, your dads, and for some of you, your coaches got you in the car very early this morning, and they drove you to Towson State to come to this clinic. And as you heard Coach Schreiber describe, you're some of the greatest goalies in the history of lacrosse here in this room. And they're not here for themselves, they're here for you. They came as well. Some of them have been coming here for 8 years to work with you guys. They love the position of goalie. And that's truly what it's all about. You have to take advantage of the opportunity. This is a great one. I don't want to bore you with any speeches or talks. You're going to get a lot of great instruction today from some very talented people. Take advantage of it. Listen to it. Abraham Lincoln, former President of the United States, once said, "You can't fertilize a field by parking through the fence." What he meant by that was you got to go out and do it. You got to take advantage of the opportunities that you have. And you've got a great one today.
Last thing, you guys, another goaltender is going to speak to you, but in a unique vein. Eddie Studi is one of the great goaltenders of all time. Perennial club goaltender at Maryland Lacrosse Club. I had the fortune many moons ago to play against him. Crafty player, left-handed goalie, a really superb goaltender. But what Eddie is now doing in lacrosse is Eddie is one of the finest officials in the game. Many of you guys may have seen. They have seen him work the sidelines at some of the big college games. And Eddie's going to talk to you a little bit today about in the crease and what it's like to be in the crease, and also what are some of the things that referees look for, players look for, etc. So let's welcome Eddie Studi.
Thank you. It's interesting to be here with all these goalies. It's something to be in a room with this many goalies. I played for about 25 years as a goalie. Now I refereed for about 25 years. And I just want to go over some of the rules that are in the crease that I see, especially young goalies, make a mistake in, and they don't seem to know the rules of the game. I would recommend that you all buy this book and read it. There's a lot of rules in there that pertain specifically to the goaltending position and around the crease. If you don't familiarize yourself with those rules, you're really doing yourself a disservice. It's a good book to have and read it. I'm going to go over some quick things. I'm not going to go over everything in the goal, but just some quick rules that you should familiarize yourself with. First of all, on equipment. There are several exceptions in the equipment area that you don't have to have as a goalie that everybody else on the team has to have. One of them is shoulder pads. You don't have to wear shoulder pads as a goal, everybody else does. But I recommend you wear them. A short guy like me gives you a couple extra inches. When the ball's coming in, it might deflect it. So I recommend shoulder pads. Which may not, but I think it's a good idea. Of course, you know you all have to have a throat guard. It comes down to about here to protect your throat. When I was playing, you didn't have to have it. You got hit in the throat and it hurt. So you want to wear that. You have to wear a chest protector. It should be on the inside of your shirt. It has to be on the inside of your shirt. Other required equipment that's, of course, you know you got to have a helmet. And you have to have knee pads. Mouth protector. You have to have gloves. You don't have to have arm pads. Most of the people in the MSA have to wear arm pads. Goalies don't have to wear them. But again, I recommend that you wear them. That's the equipment. I'm going to go over some rules now. And the first ones I want to go over are the exceptions to the rule, or the things that protect you in the crease. Now, what I like to do when I go out and warm up is make sure that your net doesn't have any holes in it. If you got holes in the net, somebody shoots from this side and hits here and goes into goal, it's a goal. The referee's supposed to check that, but you should check it also. This is an illegal goal right down here, and that's a double A because it's got the bars on it. The ball's going to hit this and come out, and the referee may not see it being a goal. You want to check the goal. Make sure the crease is the right side. How many know that the radius of a crease? It's 9 feet. So if this line's going across here, you can step out 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. That's 9 feet. That's a nice piece of change. And if it's not 9 feet, then you ought to have the referee check it and make sure it is. And if you've got a small crease there, ain't close to you. If you don't check that, it's your fault. Once the game starts, they're not going to do anything about it. You want to check it before the game. Make sure you got 9 feet. So got to fix it. So that's the things you want to look at. Right before the game starts, make sure you bring it to the official's attention. Now, when you're inside the crease, I want to go over a couple of things that protect you in there. Say you've got 9 feet, the crease is out here. Right where this, right about here. They don't have a crease here, but no one can touch you in that crease. Of course, you all know that. But you don't know where the loose ball, right where that gentleman is. I can put my foot right on the line. I can step way out here. And there can be a ball out there. How far away I am from the goal. Loose ball out there. I can get control of that loose ball. Now, it used to be, if I was stepping out here, somebody could run across here and blast me. Can't do it anymore. No one can touch you. You've got 1 foot in that crease. No one can touch you physically. They can play your stick. You have a loose ball out there. They can play your stick while you're going for it. Once you get possession of it, you can't touch it. No one can touch it. You can look how far away I am from the goal, and no one can touch me. I've got the ball. Now I bring it back in the goal. They can't touch me. I've got 4 seconds. I come out here. I get the ball. Referee starts 4 seconds. That's a long time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Count it sometime. It's a long time. There's no reason to hurry. You got the ball. You can look around. You can take your time and find the open man for a fast break. And if there's no one open, go behind or do whatever your coach tells you to do. But you've got 4 seconds in that crease. That is a long time, gentlemen. Take your time. Don't rush. Now, if you're outside of that crease, somebody does hit you out there, it's a foul. It's a loose ball foul. Usually the referee will go play on. So if you get hit, don't start yelling at the referee, I got fouled. It's a play on. He recognized it and waited to see if possession's gained. Now if you do gain possession and you've been hit, say you've gotten possession, now they've hit your stick. Referee goes play on. He does not blow the whistle. If you come back and you look around for an open man and go to hit him, play on's off and the play continues. If you go and throw the ball and you get interfered with, then the referee will stop the play and award the ball at the center line. So, you don't have to stop play just because you got fouled. If you've got a man wide open in the midfield line, you want a fast break, go ahead and hit him. The play goes on and nothing happens. Play on is kind of confusing to a lot of people, especially goalies. They say they get the ball, and you're in there, and there's a tackler right in front of you. Now, tackman has a right to put his stick up like this and try to stop you from throwing the ball at him. Okay? There's some confusion about the cylinder. Around the crease, there's a cylinder that goes straight up. That attackman can encroach on that cylinder, but he's doing it with the danger of being called for a foul. If you create contact with that attacker, again, the referee will go play on. He won't blow his whistle right away. When you throw the ball and you hit an attacker's stick, the referee goes play on and waits to see where that ball goes. If the ball is completed, if a pass is completed, he doesn't blow his whistle and you play on. If the ball falls to the ground or it affects the pass, he blows the whistle and awards the ball at the center line. So, you can create contact with the attackman. And when you see the attackman here and you go like this, hit him, he's interfered with you. But again, the referee will wait to see where the ball goes before he blows the whistle. That's pretty much outside the crease. Now, let's say the ball is loose inside the crease. And you want to play that ball inside the crease. Say it's back here. The attackman comes in to play you and has contact with your stick. Alright? Again, the referee will go play on. But this is a very unique situation now because the ball is loose. A loose ball is a play on until it's gained possession. Now, if you gain possession of that ball, the play on's off. There's no more play on, so you can't create a contact with the stick. The ball goes to the ground, it's a live ball. So you better play it. Now, if you've got possession of the ball in the crease and you get your stick checked, you can just sit there and do nothing. The referee will blow the whistle and they'll give you a free clear. It's up to your coach to decide whether you want to continue with the play or just stand there and get the free clear. If you got a fast break, you might as well take it. If you don't have an open man and you're going to take it back here with it, you're better off if you get interfered with in the crease just to stand there with the ball, and that'll give you a free clear. That's up to your coach to tell you which way he wants to go, but that's the rules of the game. Any questions so far? All right. I'm going to make some notes here. I want to make sure I don't forget anything. You can touch the ball. That's the only player on a team that can touch the ball is the goalie. You can't pick it up. You can't touch it. We used to have a goalie in the old days that played like this. Played with a little short guy. And he'd bat the ball and hit it with his stick. Phil Benedetti, you probably know him, but if you've got a loose ball on the ground, you can go like this and put it in the stick. That's legal. You can bat the ball with your hands. It comes in, and you have just one hand on stick, you can bat it. You can't catch it. But you can bat it. You also are the only one on a team that can wear football pants. The only one can wear football pants with pads in it, you can wear them. The 4-second rule, you get the ball in the crease, you want another 4 seconds, and you flip the ball up in the air and then catch it again, that's no good. You can't do that. And again, if you're outside the crease, you want another 4 seconds, and you roll the ball back in the crease, and go back in and pick it up. You can't do that either. That's against the rules. Now you can pass it to a guy, let him pass it back to you, and you get another 4 seconds. You can do that. A couple special situations. The ball's caught in your equipment. Anywhere else on the field, if the ball's caught in anybody's equipment, stop the play and you face it off. Goalie's an exception. If the ball gets caught in your equipment, you don't have to run out of the goal or anything. They stop the whistle, give the ball to the defense 20 yards from the goal. The ball's caught in your stick. Again, if it's caught in anybody else's stick, you got 4 seconds to get it out. If it's caught in your stick, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to panic. It's caught in your stick. You don't have to feel like just tell the referee and he'll stop the game, give the ball to the defense 20 yards from the goal. The ball's stuck in the mud. On a muddy day, and a lot of times the goal is muddy. Again, you don't have to panic and get all that mud in your stick and worry about all that. Just let it sit there in the mud. They'll stop it, give it to you 20 yards from the goal. So, there's a couple things. That's about it, gentlemen. Any questions? Yes, sir.
When you say with the mud, what happens when you have the tackle right in there trying to hit the ball with the mud?
Just make contact with the stick and they'll stop the play. The tackle's in there. The tackle can't even go for the ball. Let's say you got the ball covered like this, all right? Now, you can, and it's muddy, just tell the referee it's stuck in the mud. They'll stop the play. If it's not muddy, let's say you cover the ball and the tackle wants to go for that ball and he tries to go under your stick. As soon as he touches your stick, it's a play on. You bring it back, and when you gain possession, the play on's up. If you don't want to bring it back, you don't have to. You can just stop. The referee will stop the play and give you the ball over there. About the cross, the goalie's stick can't be longer than 72 inches. It can be any other length. If you want a handle that goes there, you can have it. So, you're the only one that can do that too. Everybody else will stick yes, sir.
About in and out.
Okay, in and out. Very good question. I had that on my sheet. I forgot to mention. If you have your foot on the crease line, you're out here, you get the ball, you lose your balance, lift your foot up and come back, you're out and in. Or, this happens quite a bit, the line's going between your legs. You go like this, you're out and in. Come out of the crease, you're going back in. That happens quite a bit. So you have to be aware of where you are in relation to the line at all times. You don't want to go out and back in. But the line is yours. You can be on the line and you're still in the crease. The line's not for the other guys. You've got the line. So if he steps on that line, he's in the crease. If you step on it, you're still in the crease. You got a question? Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Ed. All right, gentlemen, listen up just for some direct.
One and one in Division III, and you don't make it that far unless you're doing something right. And Jim's doing a great job down in Salisbury, and if you have kids that are good lacrosse players, you know, I've recommended a couple kids that maybe didn't fit into our program. I recommended to Jim because I know that's a great program down there, and Jim does a great job. And if you have any questions, you know, make sure you raise your hand and ask. Okay? Our first speaker will be Jim Berkman.
Thanks, Jeff. I just want to thank Coach Clark for inviting me up here to share some of the things that we do with you all. I want you to keep in mind some of the things that we do are a little bit different than some of the traditional things that maybe you're used to seeing from John Hopkins or Loyola with Dave Cottle and some of the other things. My philosophy is based on a couple of things and a couple of people that I've worked with, and we play the game a little bit different. Okay? Not that it's the wrong way, but we played a little bit different for a couple reasons. I'll kind of share those reasons with you before I give my talk today. The first thing is, I had a great experience at St. Lawrence University working with Don Lee. Don Lee in the late 70s and early 80s had some of the best Division III, Division II teams in the country. And the one thing I learned from Coach Lee that I really try to instill wherever I coach and wherever I've been in the past is you got to make this thing fun. Okay? Sometimes as coaches we get so caught up in the X's and O's and the drills and the discipline and all these things that we take a lot of the fun out of it. So I said when I went to Salisbury after coaching college basketball that the first thing I was going to do is to make sure the practice was fun. To make sure it was fun. When we went out there, I wanted kids that were excited, I wanted kids that were motivated, okay, and I wanted to do things and keep them moving. And this is a great game, but a lot of times we don't make it great. We take the fun out of it, okay? As we get into the coaching, we get into that zone defense stuff, you know, we pack it in on defense. On offense, we pass the ball around 76 times before we attack the cage. And we really take a lot of the fun out of the game, okay? So we came to Salisbury thinking, number one, is that we were going to make the game fun. And to do that, we got to make the game go up and down. And we make the game, if you all has ever seen us play before, we definitely make the ball go up and down. We averaged almost 20 goals a game last year, okay? And to do that, you got to practice that way. And that's what's fun about our practices. You guys have played before, know that transition lacrosse is kind of fun. And what I'm going to share with you today is just a number of the drills that we use to make the game fun and to keep it moving. I'm not going to go over how to do a 4-on-3 fast break. I'm not going to go over how to do a 6-on-5 slow break, because you all have seen that 100 times at 100 clinics before. What I thought I'd do today is share some drills that we use that hopefully you can use in your situations to create transition, to make practice fun. Okay, the last thing I'd like to say before I get into some of the drills is that these are drills and they're fun, but there's certain rules and principles that have to be adhered to. Okay, another gentleman I was fortunate enough to work with, or actually be coached by, was Paul Evans. Paul Evans, the head basketball coach at Pittsburgh now in the Big East, and I played college basketball for Paul Evans when he was at St. Lawrence University. And one thing I learned from Coach Evans, you know, and I think Coach Evans is a great coach, but I don't think he's a Bobby Knight. He's definitely not a basketball guru by any means. But the one thing that I learned from Coach Evans that I really try to instill in our drills and in my philosophy is that it doesn't really make any difference what you do. You know, it doesn't make any difference if you use a 2-2-2 offense, a 3-1-2 offense, a 1-4-1 offense. But whatever you do, okay, you've got to do it, and you got to do it right. And he made sure that everybody on the floor and his team, no matter what it was that we did, we didn't do a lot of things, that we would do it so everybody else knew what was going on, and we would do it right. Regardless if it was the first 5 minutes of the game when it's easy to do, or the last 2 minutes of the basketball game when you win it. And that's what I really got from him. And when we do these drills, whether it's a little V-cut to get open, whether it's passing the ball to the outside, we make sure that the kids are doing it right in practice. Because so many times as coaches, we see Johnny make that wrong cut in offense, but we'll let it go because we want to keep the play going. But he stopped it and made sure he took care of that net. that, so it didn't lead to something in the game. You know, like catching the ball to the inside. Well, we'll keep it going in practice because, you know, we want to keep everything flowing. Okay, but when the game comes, it's fourth quarter, and you're playing in the regional championship game, and you go to pass the ball to the inside, and stick check comes and you lose the ball. You think back, is that the kid's fault or is that your fault? And I think that really comes to where the buck stops, and that's the coach. So those two things kind of are preludes to what I'm going to talk to you a little bit about. Coach Clark, you got any power here?
Yes, sir.
Just try to make do. You can see that this is called our slow break drill. We get our tackle 3 across like they would be normally in a half-field situation. Okay, then at the other end, we have 3 midi lines kind of packed in by the goalies. All right, goalie with the ball. Okay, goalie calls break just as if he had made a save. The 3 middies break out. Okay, the goalie has a choice of mixing it up now. He can pass it to any one of the 3. It makes no difference. Okay? What we want to do is if he passes it over here, okay, let's say this guy breaks up, he passes it again, this guy breaks up, and he passes it again. Okay? We want to make a couple passes as if they were breaking out, passing and catching, okay? Over the shoulder, sticks to the outside, we're moving the ball upfield. They're passing and catching, the same thing you're doing in line drills, but they're doing it now like they're going to do it in the game. Okay, once they get over midfield, okay, they keep the ball to the outside. Whoever touches it first over the midfield line to the outside, okay, that determines which side we're going to determine on our slow break. Okay, 6 on 5. Okay, this midi right here has the ball over midfield. Now that determines the slow break. So that means this attackman's going to make a V cut. We're going to push the ball down the wing to him. This attackman's going to get hard with a V cut to the point. All right, the crease attack's going to get low on the crease. We push the ball from the attack to the point, just as most of you probably do on any type of slow break that you're running. Okay, then the middies trail down. All right, the first midi down, or the first midi to the right side has got to replace that outside attack. And it could be any one of the 3, it makes no difference. Okay, the second midi down, it's into the crease, and the last midi gets down and gets up top. Okay? So we run our slow break drill. We made about 7 or 8 passes. Okay, we got the ball to the point, and now we are in a 1-4-1 set. All right, we're in a 1-4-1 set. We push the ball up to that midi that broke down the side. Okay? Up to the top guy. Okay, into the attackman, or the midi, a little flip, and then he flips it to the goalie. They got a goalie in here. I'll show you. Down here, the midi, attack, a midi up top. All right, the ball swung around, went to the midi up top, and went inside, and made a short pass, and then hit the goalie. Okay, now those 3 guys that are at midfield are going to break up the field and go back to the other end. So we flip to the goalie, midi breaks out, midi breaks out, midi breaks up. Okay, and those guys work the ball amongst themselves back to the other end where they originally started. Okay, now this is where the drill becomes fun. Okay, not just one group goes now. And a lot of these drills will seem like they're chaotic at the beginning, but it really teaches guys to keep their head up. Okay, well that first group is down there at the goal, and they flip it to the goalie, and the goalie starts the next ball at the other end. So we're back here where we started from, and the second group is going now. Okay, the second group's coming down the field. They're running their slow break. Break it down the field. Okay, get the ball to the outside over the midfield line. Okay, and the other group's coming back, making as many passes as they can, just working the ball back to the end of the line. Okay, and there's going to be guys going down the field this way and coming the other way. They got to keep their head up. Okay, I've been in Salisbury for 4 years. We've only had one collision in 4 years. Okay, and it was just pass ball. Okay, they learn to keep their head up. Okay, just like in a game. Okay, they don't throw buddy passes. Okay, and they learn to pass the ball. When they go back, they go to the end of the line and they go again. So we're getting passing over the shoulder, full field situation. We're running our slow break into our 1-4-1 slow break offense. Okay, and then they go back down to the end of the line. We just call it our slow break drill. Any questions on that drill? Okay, let me show you what we have our defensemen doing. Okay, then we have 4 lines across the middle of the field with 2 people in a line. Okay, we start the ball with a goalie. Okay, we have this guy break out a little bit, make a pass, and he catches the ball over his shoulder. This guy will then break down to the ball, so he's catching the ball on the run. Hal, here's your help, calling the name at the same time, and we make a pass to him. Okay? As soon as he catches the ball, and not until that point, once he catches the ball, this guy will yell break, and this guy will break down over his shoulder. This guy will turn, making a nice turn to the outside, and make a pass down the outside. Now, if you don't have a lot of guys, these guys in the middle can just be middies. Okay, this defenseman breaks over his shoulder, makes a nice pass down here to them in the corner. This defenseman breaks up a little bit, and we make a good long pass all the way across. Good 45, 50-yard pass. Okay, the middle guy then breaks down to him. We hit him. This guy breaks once this guy catches the ball down the sideline. Catches the ball over his shoulder. This guy breaks over the shoulder. And then we hit it back to the goalie. We start it again. We get 2 balls usually going, 2 or 3 balls going at once. Now, these middle guys, once they go, the guys in the corner stay in the same lines. The guys in the middle just work with partners. So this guy that caught the ball right here originally, okay, so he's turning to the outside anyways right here, and hitting that guy over his shoulder, he's just going to continue and go to the end of that line. This guy who caught it over his shoulder will come back to the end of that line. And the same thing over here. He'll go to this line, he'll go to that line. It's called our 8-man clearing drill. And we have these 2 drills going on, the slow break drill and the 8-man clearing drill going at the same time. Passing and catching, a lot of long passes. No. No, we have 2 fields. Okay, excuse me. Okay, the one field, we got the slow break drill. The next field, we got the 8-man clearing drill. We got a coach on each field, okay, and they're doing those 2 drills.
Do you ever go around the other way?
Yeah, we may do this for 4 minutes and then switch it and go the other way so they're using their other hand. Okay, we have about 7 close defensemen, about 3 long sticks, and we let our extra goalies do this. So what we do is one day we put the defensemen in the corners, and then the next day we may put the long poles up top in the corners and let the D guys go up top so they're catching the ball with the shoulder and moving the outside, moving them around. Any questions on that drill?
Top thing.
What do you want to do here?
Yeah, that. Move that up and down. Put it on the wall.
Just move it.
Or you can put it on the wall too. It's actually
We're locked in here.
Just put it on the wall. Put it on the wall right there.
Over here?
Yeah.
Okay, they're just gradually staggered, like an umbrella would be kind of curved. Okay, we start one ball, we yell break, midi breaks up the field straight. We hit him over the shoulder. Okay, the next midi's following just slightly ahead, we hit him over the shoulder. This midi breaks up, we hit him over the shoulder. Attack gets a nice V cut. We pass the ball to the outside to him. Right? We get our attacker making a V cut to the point. We bang the ball to the point. Okay? And the middies will follow down just like they did in our other slow break drill into a 1-4-1. So we get one midi going down to the crease. Okay? One midi filling the attack spot. Okay? And one midi becoming the trailer. So we're in the 1-4-1 just like we were in that other slow break drill. Okay? Then they move the ball around to the outside, bangs it up to the wing, and then back up to the top in the attackman, then to the goalie. Then the goalie does the same thing that he had done in the other drill. Okay? He passes it to the three middies, breaking back up the field. Okay? And they're going to come back up the field. These three guys that just came down in the slow break. Midi 1, midi 2, midi 3. Okay? They're going to come back down the field now, going the other way where they originally started, just like in the other drill. Now at the same time, once they get down there and shoot the ball in the goal, the next group of middies is going to be going. So they're going to do the same drill. They're going to come down, over the shoulder, ball to the outside, and they're going to go down and run our slow break. Okay? As they're coming down, the other group's coming back. So they got to keep their head up. They're making as many passes as they can back. When they get back, they flip the ball to the goalie and they go to the end of the line. Okay, this is one of our clears. Okay, one of our clears has the three middies to the left, a D to the right, a D to the top, and a D at the X. But a lot of times a D at the X is our fourth midi. So we're actually practicing our clear and our slow break in a warm-up drill. Okay, instead of having to take time to keep reviewing your clear, you do your clear every day right in your warm-up. Okay, now the D at the same time on the far side of the field, which is going to be good for most of you, breaks up, the other goalie hits him over his shoulder. Okay, now the D-men are going to follow their pass. The D-men will follow their pass. He will then hit the ball to this defenseman breaking to him. This defenseman breaks over his shoulder. We make the pass to the outside. This guy hits the guy down in the corner. Okay? Then this guy in the corner turns to the outside. Okay? And we usually have another defenseman step out. And we make a long pass all the way back down on the outside. And the D-men just follow their pass. So if you already got the passing lines, they're just going to follow it, and then they play all four positions. So they're actually practicing our clear as the middies practice our clear. Yeah, you got the middies working on one side. We used to do this for 5 minutes on the left. Boom, 5 minutes on the right. They switch sides, and now the middies are going over the left shoulder on the other side of the field. This is one of our clears. This clear we don't use as much as we used to with the new rules. With the old rules, we used to use this clear a lot. Any questions on that? The up and over drill. We got D in each corner of the field. We got middies. Where the middies are middies, they could be middies or attackmen. Okay, middies or attackmen. So you got a line in each corner, a line at the top of each box to the outside of the field on each side. So you got 4 lines on each side of the field, and a goalie in each end. Okay, what we do with this drill, okay, where it says 40 there, that's where we start the drill, but we try to have at least 40 or 50 balls. And we put all our balls at one end. Okay, take your whole ball bag. If you have 100, use 100. If you only have 30, use 30. Put all your balls at one end. It eliminates the confusion, okay, on this drills. No matter how many balls you have. If it's only 2 dozen, use 24. Okay, start the drill. We push the ball to the one side, okay, and then he redirects to the other side. Okay, as he redirects it, this middy's going to break to him, and we're going to make an up and over pass. Okay? Our whole philosophy on transition starts with what we call up and over. When a kid catches the ball, okay, his first is to look up and over on the far side of the field. Because that's where great things are going to happen in transition. Not on the same side of the field, but on the far side of the field. Okay? It's funny when you watch us play, you'll hear our kids on the bench yelling at the kids on the field on transition or an outlet pass from the goalie. You'll hear them, up and over, Danny, up and over, Danny. And the kid automatically thinks and looks, and we make a 40-yard pass across the field, guy breaking, and boom, he goes in 3-on-2, 4-on-3, etc. But it's something we do every day in practice. Question?
Coach, this is what, working in the bottom part, just so you just a lot of the transparency itself for us. Keep going. There you go.
Okay? So we start with the goal, we go to the right, it doesn't make any difference. You can mix it up. Goes to the right, he bangs it across the field to the left. He hits the midi up. Okay? Then that midi catches the ball, then looks across to the far side of the field.
Then maybe break the far side of it.
Yeah, he stays wide. Once he catches the ball and ball's in the air, then he breaks to it. We want to make a good, long, up and over pass. Okay, that guy catches it. This guy breaks to him. Then we hit him. Okay, this guy breaks to him. And then we bang it back across the other side. All right? Then we hit it to the corner. Okay, back across again. And then back to the goalie. And then the ball stops. Okay, so we just zigzag the ball up the field is all we've done. Okay, and it eliminates the confusion of going both ways. People stay in the same lines. Okay, and you're thinking up and over. You made, 50, 60 catches going up the field each time with all your people. Once the goalie gets the balls down at that end, he just drops them. Okay, and then the drill will come back the other way. Now, here's the other part of the drill that's really positive where you can work on some of those fundamentals. We're fortunate we have 4 coaches. Okay, you can use managers. Okay, or you're an extra player. We put a coach at each one of these lines. So we'll use this line for example. This coach has a ball. So after this guy had breaking out and caught that pass, he immediately turns and comes back to the coach. And the coach rolls him a ground ball. Okay? The coach rolls him a ground ball after he made that long up and over pass, turns, he comes back to the guy, scoops the ball, makes a dodge. Quick dodge, and then he'll flip the ball to the coach. Okay? He'll flip the ball to the coach. Now, he's not done yet, because we're trying to get as much as we can out of every drill. So as soon as he's done with the ground ball and he flips it to the coach, he goes to the outside of the coach. Okay? And then he shuffles to the end of the line. Okay, you can determine whatever you want. We do like 2 times shuffle, and we do 2 times karaoke. You can do back pedal. So that one drill, we've been talking about pushing the ball up and over. We got pass and catching. We got ground ball every time you pass the ball. We got a dodge, and we got footwork. Okay, all in one drill. We do this drill usually every day for about 5 to 7 minutes. Any questions on that? Full field fast break drill. 4-on-3 full field fast breaks. 3 attack and 3D at each end. Okay, midi line in each corner of the field. Okay, we're going to work 4-on-3s now. We're going to work 4-on-3s. Okay, we start the drill by letting one midi come to one side of the field, and he will run in 4-on-3. Okay, so we got a 4-on-3 break right now going on. All right, at the far end of the field, down here, those guys are playing as if they were playing 10-on-10 lacrosse now. You got your defenseman up in front of your attackman, guarding the midfield line. Okay, that's a big concept with us. If a defenseman ever gives up a free clear because he's not in front of his man, he automatically comes out of the game. All right, they know that. We do not give up a free clear. That's a cardinal sin. So they're up in front of their men. They come down and do a 4-on-3 fast break. Say he bangs it across the top, he bangs it down, he shoots the ball, whatever happens, okay? We have a lot of balls in each goal. Okay, if he scores, it goes wide, etc. Now we're going to go, Coach Amita's going to say, blow his whistle and say, break. So now these three guys, the three attackmen that just had the fast break, now they're riding. Okay, now they're riding. The three defensemen are now clearing, and this midi is breaking out over his shoulder. So that the three attackmen down here, 1, 2, 3, okay, have got to ride the three defensemen and the midi to midfield. Okay, he may hit the midi right over his shoulder, and he may go down in a break. He may hit a defenseman over his shoulder, cutting out the middle, and he may go down in a break. This is making a game situation. Okay, let's say that he hit the midi, breaking out here. And the attackman didn't get the midi, and he ran over the field. Okay, now we're going to go 4-on-3 the other way. Okay, we get our attackman down. We get our D now in a tight triangle. Okay, we got a 4-on-3 fast breakdown at the other end. Same thing happens. Now, they came down to this end. The attack shot the ball wide. Coach blows his whistle right away. Break. Now this guy breaks up the field, and they're going 4-on-3 with the attack riding and the defense clearing. Continue 4-on-3, but it really makes your attack ride. Okay? It makes your defensemen handle the ball and clear. They may break over midfield line and get a fast break, just like the game. It really makes it a full field, realistic situation. Yeah, the midi, when they come down, they're out of the drill after they get done, and not the attack ride. Excuse me? Yeah, on the shot, the defenseman would break like they normally do. One would break out, one would break wide, and one would break up, the way we do it. So you're practicing that also. No, not in this drill, just continuing 4-on-3.
What do you do when the attack breaks up on riding, breaks up the defense player?
They get the ball and they go right back again. Good question. The attack steals the ball. Okay, you got an unsettled situation. Hopefully you got some great riding attackmen. There's going to be a lot of situations where they're going to get the ball and it's not going to be perfect transition. So now they're getting to practice all those numerous opportunities. It's a continuous drill. With a few of your gifted athletes. Okay, this drill is called 4-on-4. Okay, it's to work on 4-on-4 transition opportunities. Okay, in the past, probably most of you have heard traditional lacrosse talks and people talk about lacrosse. When it's 4-on-4, what do? Well, you bang the ball down the wing, you go to the point, you let the trailers get in, and you get an advantage situation. If not, you pull the ball out, and man, we're going to run some set offense. 4-on-4 to us is a golden opportunity to score. Okay? Especially for a midi who has got great speed and great open field dodges. Okay? So once we get near the season and we get near game time, we'll tell our middies who can go 4-on-4 to the goal and what middies we just want to go to the outside and go to the point. We have 3 or 4 middies, okay, that were former attackmen, a couple are really gifted athletes. If it comes down 4-on-4, we want them going to the cage. Okay, they're going to attack that guy right away in the open field. Okay, they're going to go right at him and try to go by him. Or make something happen and make it become a 4-on-3 situation. So in this drill, okay, these middies with the circle are the defenders. The coach has the ball, midi breaks out. Okay, and we hit the ball to him over the shoulder. This midi comes out and plays D. Okay, and for the sake of the drill, we tell that midi to come up and play him in the open field, which is going to happen a lot of times. Now, our philosophy in defense is we're not going to go play that guy in the middle of the field. We're going to drop in the hole. But a lot of times in a game, a guy will catch the ball, okay, over his shoulder, and it'll be 4-on-4 for a minute, somewhere between midfield and the top of the box. So let's take an example. This is Dan Gorley from Westminster, very gifted athlete, runs about a 4.6, 40, okay, big, strong kid, about 210 pounds. He comes down here with the ball, 4-on-4. He knows he's going to run right at that midi and try to run by it. Okay, you all have one or two kids that are pretty gifted on your team that can run by, most of you. Okay, so we go attack him, 4-on-4, and then we just play out 4-on-3 right from that situation and hope something's going to happen. Positive. No, we're going at it. Once he plays, and we're going at it. But so many teams are so conservative, okay, with 4-on-4 that they go to the point automatically when, when guys are playing 6-on-6 defense, a lot of times it's hard to score. So we want to take advantage of this 4-on-4. Any questions on that drill? Sticks. And 5-on-4, most people automatically go to the point. Okay? Our philosophy is we do not go to the point 5-on-4. For this reason, because 9 times out of 10 when you go to the point, it automatically becomes 6-on-6. So 5-on-4, okay, we are going to keep the attackman kind of flat to see what kind of advantage situation happens. All right? And then if it becomes a 4-on-3, okay, we're going to go ahead and play it. So we do this drill where we have 2 middies down here, coach with the ball, the middies break on the break call, and he hits one of the middies. For the sake of the drill, we automatically have the guy come and pick the ball up, just for the sake of the drill. Because a lot of times in lacrosse, that's what happens in the middle of the field. Okay? They drop back and the whole guy catches the ball over his shoulder here, and a guy will come to pick him up, and there'll be somebody open on the far side of the field. So then we'll bang the ball over here and run it in, and maybe we'll get a 4-on-3. Okay, and then the attack will get an appropriate box. If we don't get a 4-on-3, what we do is we get the attackman down so they'd be in their normal box. So the midi came down here, so we got one there, one there, one there, and one up top. And then we'll cut the other midi to the crease. So now we got 5-on-4, 4 guys to the perimeter and 1 in the crease. And then we play the drill out from there. We do not go to the point 5-on-4. We keep the ball above the pipe, okay, and we take some chances. That's our philosophy. Okay, we're fortunate that we usually have a lot of depth in Salisbury, and we just wear teams down this way. It creates tempo, gets teams going up and down the field, okay, and it makes people play faster than they want to play. Question?
Yes, I've lost it somewhere on the lower corner diagram. Middies, which are cleaned in, have 2 lines of midfielders on offense, and then the middle line is defense. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, now, the ball starts, you're looking at the diagram on the left side. All right. Coach throws the ball to the
Midi breaking right here.
okay. Now, he's picked up by a defense, but he throws the diagram across.
Yeah, he'll throw that up and over pass. That's what we practice every day. Now that's against a lot of things that you've been taught or you probably coach. You say if the ball's coming up one side, I would never throw the ball 35 yards to the far side of the field to a guy catching because we're going to throw the ball out of bounds. Well, if you never practice it, you're going to throw it out of bounds. But if you practice that every day in the up and over drill, okay, and you practice making 35 or 40-yard passes, you can make them. You can get better at them. But if you never practice them, I would say don't pass the ball across the field, go down the side. But we practice it every day, and we want to make this pass because we know it leads to great things. And the other thing I would say about this drill, or any of these drills, is if this kid here throws the ball over here, he misses it, or it's a bad pass, you never yell at him. Okay? So you just say, hey, get it next time, Johnny, and be positive, because that's the pass you want to always make. The other day in practice, we were doing the same drill, and I had the same kid twice in a row throw the ball over the kid's head, and he came back and nailed himself in the helmet with a stick. And I said, Artie, I said, don't worry about it, Artie. I said, I've never yelled at anybody in this program once for missing a pass, okay, or throwing a bad pass. I've never yelled at anybody that I've ever coached for doing that. I said, but I will yell at you if you don't throw that pass. And if they get that kind of attitude and that mentality that we want to look up and over and that we can make it, believe it or not, great things can happen and they can make that pass. Any questions? Thank you very much for your time.
John was a little overshadowed in high school, I thought, and Loyola High School. Glenn went to Boys Latin, and John went to Loyola. Loyola had some great players. He was a little overshadowed, and I think right now in his career, he's really moving to the top. And we really think that he's going to be one of the top tacklemen in the country. He's going to be, he was an honorable mention All-American last year. Probably would have been higher if Glenn wasn't around and getting so much press. I think this year is going to be John's big year. John's gone to a lot of big tournaments in the summertime and been MVP in this one, that one, and done great. And he's a great player. Glenn's more of a shooter, okay, and John's more of a feeder. But I think both of them really sort of completed their game in the college level, and John's becoming more of a complete player, and that's what we're looking for this year. We saw a lot of it last year, and we're looking forward to more of it this year. But if you're going to classify the two, you might say, well, Glenn's more of a shooter and John's more of a feeder. I don't think that's fair to the kids to say that, but that's their reputation. And John's going to be one of the best attackers in the country this year. He's one of the captains of our team, and he's very knowledgeable. So I want to turn it over to John Blassie and Glenn Smith.
But I have played a hell of a lot of lacrosse. What I plan to give is somewhat of like, necessarily not a coaching type, my opinion to a coaching, but necessarily individual teaching on specific skills that I think that are important to be a successful attacker. The first thing I want to talk about is stick protection. There's so many things you do to work to be successful. I played since I was 8 years old. Going against the wall, working my rear end off, and then you can run the hills, do this and that. But you get to high school and college ranks, you've got to have good stick protection. And I think it's real important, especially these days. You have kids like Steve Kisslinger, Dave Petramala, Pat McCabe in college. You got to have good stick protection in order to be successful. First thing I like to show is where you hold your stick. A lot of kids hold their stick at the top, which is the right thing to do, but their grip isn't right. They hold it like this. You want to hold your grip kind of like you pick up a tennis racket. Okay, same type of idea. Next thing is where you put your stick. A lot of people keep it to the side. You want to keep it relaxed. But the next thing you want to do is you just want to use that little cradle, because a lot of people these days use a rifle check, and you're not going to be perfect. They are going to get inside, and they're going to get to your stick, but that little cradle is going to keep the ball in there. The next thing you want to work on is your arms, where your shoulders are. After you have your stick close to your body, good protection next to your head. We call it, at TAS, we call it kiss the stick, because it's right next to your body, right next to your helmet. Next thing is you want to get your arm out, kind of like an L shape, and then just turn that shoulder towards the side. Okay, a lot of, you've heard this 1,000 times, but it's a lot of things. I go to a lot of high school lacrosse games. I still see a lot of kids, they don't have their stick straight up and down. They have it pointed towards the side. The hands maybe about 6 or 7 inches down the stick. You want to keep the top, hand top of the stick close to your body, arm out, and just what a lot of people say these days is drop the thumb, and that keeps the stick. That keeps your shoulder kind of pointed, your elbow out. So it keeps, that elbow out for protection against the defender's stick. What a lot of people do that are doing now that are smaller, what John does is because they are smaller and they're in a crouch position coming down, and the stick is coming at eye level, they're getting checks. Like if John's coming around the goal, and because he is in a crouch position, most defensemen are taller, that stick's coming right across his body. So a lot of smaller guys, instead of bringing their hand across, what they do is when they're down, they have it up in a crouch position like this. Because the stick's coming across, and he's a smaller guy, he might not have trouble with the stick protection now because of that. You see guys like Mike Rulin did that at Loyola College. I know John does it, and I think it's pretty effective for a smaller guy. John's going to talk about feeding now.
Basically, feeding, I see myself as a feeder. I think it's one of the most important positions on the field. because a lot of people see the scores like Glenn and Rob and a couple other guys, but I think it's the feeder that is the most important guy on the field. He has to get them the ball in order to score. In high school, I did a lot of feeding, standing still. I mainly point behind the goal. And I think the biggest difference that I had to learn is that when I came to play in college, the defensemen were bigger, better, stronger, and quicker. And I had to learn how to move my feet. And I'm learning things all the time, especially in camps in summer. And here in Towson, playing against Kissling, I think is one of the best ever. And I've learned that I have to move my feet in order to be a good feeder. And I find myself a lot feeding standing still, and the defensemen are reading me and knocking the ball down. And especially in college, I think there's a lot of players who are crease defensemen who look to knock the ball down. They're looking at your feet and looking to intercept it. So I've really worked on my game on moving my feet. A player, John Zilberti, played in Syracuse, was a great feeder too. He taught me that the step back rule. And what that is when you're playing against a defenseman, before you're about to feed, just to take one step back, to get away from the pressure, get away from the stick, and you have time to look up and feed. So when you make your move, you're going strong, and then right when you're about to feed, take one step back. There's no pressure, you don't have the stick on you, and you have a clear feed. A lot of defensemen, what they're trying to do is when they're playing against me now, is they're trying to play on my bottom hand, trying to disrupt the feed. So what I want to do is, like Glenn said, I'm trying to use my arm out here in a way, even warding off. I'm trying to ward off their sticks so I can get away to feed the ball. Glenn, you want to show them that drill?
If you can feel comfortable with the pressure against the defenseman, then I think you're going to be successful as a tackler because it's a head game. It's all.
It's all that.
It's most of it's just confidence. Playing against a defender. What we do is we have 3 balls behind the goal, and a man starts on the end. We'll just have a defenseman sitting around on the point behind. He just comes, scoops up the ball. He pressures him immediately. He drives to one side, and then we'll have our crease attackman with a cone up top. He's just cutting. He works and feeds this guy right here. Comes back, picks up the next ball. He just cuts down the backside. Him cut down to one side, he feeds the ball, comes back, picks up the next ball. What this does is just works on immediate pressure as soon as you pick up the loose ball. Good stick protection. And like I said, that's half the battle as an attacker. You got to learn to deal with pressure. If you're playing against somebody that's not too good, but when you play against a real good team, the teams that are really playing good defense are the teams that come out of attack. Okay, so all that is
What happens after you get the feed and make the feed up top?
all it is
Shoot.
yeah. All you do is just have your crease attackman up top.
He's working back and forth.
Just your attackman's behind. He picks up the loose ball. He drives to one side, and then the defenseman has automatic pressure as soon as he gets the loose ball. Just working on his stick protection and working on his feet.
Excellent drill. Excellent drill.
I mean, it's nothing fancy, but I thought it helped us. I thought it helped us with being more effective. When you do get that automatic pressure when you pick up the ball. The next thing I want to talk about is shooting. Now, Coach, yes, sir.
Did you put a goalie in there?
You can, but that's really not the ideal thing. It's really for the point, the attacking point behind, and if you wanted to put a goalie in there, it's possible.
I think it's important also that you stress that when your attackmen are doing this drill, that they're feeding with their left and right hands. I think that's very important because when you come to college, you're playing against defensemen that are so good that they realize if you only have one hand, you're going to play your hand the whole time. So it's important that you also learn how to feed left and right handed, and you stress that to the attackman.
Is that total pressure, or three-quarter pressure, or full pressure?
Oh, it's full pressure. It's a lot. You're about 6 yards from behind the crease. At X, we call it X.
So it makes it somewhat fair.
Yeah. Well, the defenseman understands. He's kind of lean. He'll let you pick up the ball, but as soon as you pick up the ball, he's on you. Yes, sir.
Well, I think that the kids should be, if they're a fairly good athlete, be forced to go left and right. Obviously, you did it on your own on the walls and stuff, but what's your opinion there?
I was one-handed through high school. I really was. My coach didn't stress too much the other hand. It was basically go with your best hand, and that's what it is. I would say it's good for a freshman to come into high school to learn both hands right away, immediately. I think that starts with ball drills. You know, that as a tackman, you have to be able to carry the ball left and right hand and catch and throw. You just have to. And I'm learning now. I'm a right-hander, and I play on the left side of Towson. So immediately I had to learn my left hand. So I would say, as a freshman or sophomore in high school, to work on the other hand. And plus, a lot of coaches that are scouting players or recruiting players look for that. Look to see two hands. I know Coach Runk, when he goes to see players, he looks to see if they have two good solid hands. He knows he has a solid player when he sees someone that can catch and throw with their hands.
One other, to jump in quick, on the grip, Glenn was talking about more of, choking up, and I've been noticing, your hand down a lot lower. Can you comment on?
Yeah, I play with the stick a lot lower than Glenn does. Glenn is upper body. He has the upper body snap that, when he's ready, he's a shooter. He always has his stick up like this. I more or less feed with my stick down, away from the defenseman, because I'm a little person. So when I'm playing against a bigger defenseman, I have my advantage is to keep the stick low. So when I play catch and pick up my stick, the first thing I do is it's down here. It's always down here with me. I like to keep it away from the defenseman.
Okay, I'm going to talk about shooting. Like Coach Clark said, I've been a pretty effective shooter. As you can see, most people who know me, they might be friends of my family. They might come up to me and they say, "You play football?" "No, I play lacrosse." So, I have that football body, but I had to, kind of put my body in the type of because I enjoyed lacrosse so much. I wanted to do something that I could be good at. And, I'm not real fast, but yeah, I can shoot the ball. And I think, my type of technique is for anybody. And I think, it's nothing special. It's basically fundamentally sound. I think there's three important types of things, three types of shots as an attacker that you have to think about. Your open area shot, just when you're in an open area. Two, when you're driving to the cage, that's basically the same type of shooting, but your footwork's different because you're going to have pressure against you. And number three is crease. What type of shot you're going to take when you're cutting off the crease. First shot is the open area shot. So you can direct this towards your midfielders, towards your defenseman come down the field, or just any attack play. And a good analogy to lacrosse shooting is like baseball, a baseball pitcher or a football quarterback. When you see a baseball pitcher, he winds up, he has his feet kind of pointed towards the side, he's leaning down and he's looking at his target. When a quarterback, he drops back and his feet towards the side, his elbows are out and he's looking at his target. Same type of thing in lacrosse, okay? Your feet are kind of pointed towards the side, you're looking at your target. Footwork is important because you want to use your body. You see so many kids, they come down and they'll shoot on the run like this, and they're like this, You gotta be fundamentally sound. You're like, wow, how'd you do it? It's because everything's right. Just like in basketball. That guy, Sid Brayman, the basketball guru or whatever, the guy who teaches everybody to shoot, all he does is teach them the proper way to shoot, the fundamentally way to shoot. So I think, good footwork. Next thing you want to think about is your hands. Which way you're going to hold your hand on the stick. First thing I want to think about is, the control hand. Since I'm right-handed, I'm going to use the right hand. I want to pick it up just like I used on my top grip on my stick protection. I want to use this type of grip, just like a tennis racket, as you were playing tennis. Okay? Next thing is your guide hand. And this is just like a golf swing. You just want to have your knuckles towards the side, okay? And I want to have them about 7 or 8 inches apart, okay? And see what that does? It's not like this. It's not tight. It's real loose. See that?
And that way, what happens is, just like in golf, you get that wrist snap at the end. And that's how you get the snap on your shot. So I got my footwork, I pointed towards the side. The next thing I want to think about is your arms. Where are you going to put your arms? I go to camps, I see a ton of kids, and they have their, I'll tell them, get your elbows out, and then they'll do it a little too much. You want to have it just to be comfortable. You don't want to have them here, because what it's going to do is, you're not going to get that snap in your shot. And then you see a lot of kids, they'll push it, So you want to be comfortable, and it just takes time. So you want to get your arms about 6 or 7 inches apart. You want to get your elbows a little bit away from your body, feet pointed towards the side. And when I take a shot, just like everybody says, same old tune, back pressure on the foot, follow through on the front foot, okay? So it's about right here. I don't want to get it too high. You see, like a Brian Kronberger played for Loyola, he got his stick down here, but you know what his trouble was? A lot of times, he'd come back and miss, and he'd get that stick knocked out. You want to keep it about right near your ear, so in case something, you might get a little bit of traffic, just bring it right across your face. So you want to kind of keep it near your helmet, a little bit. Not too high, but not too low, because then you get in here, and you're going to lose all your snap on your shot. So what I'm saying is you've got to use your whole body. John said I have a lot of upper body strength. I'm pretty strong and I shoot the ball hard, but what my thing is, I have a lot of snap on my shot. I use everything. Feet, follow through, coming through, right down, and follow right on through with my front foot. Just like a quarterback. Pitcher's right here, follows through, and he just snaps at the end with the wrist. Same type of thing. The next thing I want to talk about is when you drive to the goal. You want to use the same fundamental philosophy, but your footwork's going to be different. Okay, so if the goal is, if I'm looking into the goal and I'm driving, okay, first thing I want to be thinking about is give yourself plenty of room. Tell your players. And I see this again, and you've probably heard this 1,000 times in clinics. And I do it myself too much. You got to give yourself plenty of room. I see kids they drive up and they keep their head down and they give themselves maybe 3 yards past the plane of the goal. Get yourself up higher. The higher the better. What's the worst thing you can do? You go up too high, you throw the ball point behind or give it to your midi. But get up high. Next thing, and the most important thing which makes the difference between a regular shot and driving the goal is your footwork. Okay? What's going to happen is John's going to be playing me, okay, and he's going to come in with a box technique, and I'm going to be coming. My feet are going to be pointed north, right? So what I got to do is I got to get my feet pointing towards the goal. If the goal's, if I'm coming around the goal, just pretend that, I'm looking at the goal this way. What you want to do is just lean in and just get your feet in proper order so you can get off the shot. If there's any possible way. Now I know he's going to be playing you there tough. It's going to be difficult. But when you do drive the goal, just the main thing is you want to get your feet pointing towards the goal. And you don't see a lot of kids doing that, because what's going to happen is I come around here, John pushes me, and I'm just going to fall off my feet. Okay? The third type of shot that you have to worry about, that you have to think about as an attacker, is cutting off the crease. Okay? And first thing when you're thinking about cutting off the crease is, you see a lot of kids playing up, the top of 8 yards off the crease. They're just like, here's your help, here's your help. A little simple trick. Don't ever cut down off the crease with your stick like this. The guy's going to be facing you, and all you want is just a simple little move. You want to cut this way, all you do is cut that way. Just bring your stick. This little move will give you a half a step right here. The next thing, when you prepare to shoot and catch the ball, you see, most kids, they just come down and they go like this, and they have their hands right here on their stick. You don't want to do that, okay? Because that's going to cause a couple things. Number one, the defenseman's going to be playing. He's going to get right on your gloves right away. Number two, you're not going to get any oomph on your shot. You're not going to get any velocity. And number three is the goalie's going to read it like, the ball's going to be right there. What I do is a simple little move in preparation before the ball gets there. You bring it from here back to here on your back hip.
And if you teach your crease attackman to do something, I'm not saying this is the name of the game, but if you teach him that little thing right there, he can make a name for himself because he's going to have like a half, maybe 1 or 2 seconds before that defenseman's going to make a check. Because bringing it from here to here, what it does is he can't get your bottom glove because he's going to check you right in here. The goalie can't read your shot because it's going to be coming from here, and it's going to take him longer to read the shot. And number 3, you're going to get more leverage. You're going to get more fire back here. Okay? So when you catch it, boom, the ball's here. 1, 2, 3. And it's just a quick fire through. So those 3 things, it's more of an advantage to bring your stick back here than it is to keep it up front. And if you see Chris Colbeck down at Loyola, Rob Wurzberger down at Maryland, kid scored 120 goals or something like that in 4 years. That's all he really did. He cut off the crease, did one quick little move. I mean, I'm not knocking the kid, but he just protected the stick really well. So, yeah, go ahead.
Are you saying you're getting the feed from behind there on that move? You'd be getting feed from X behind?
Yeah, that right there was, if I was a crease attackman and the type of cut, if I cut down the pipe, that's the type of thing you want to do.
So you catch the ball and you'd be facing the goal right away then?
Right.
Right. Something I want to stress is that when we do one-on-ones, a lot of the game is one-on-ones. At Towson, when we do one-on-ones, what Coach Runk likes to do is he likes to take out his paint can and go about 10 yards up on either side of the wing and draw a box. And what he wants us to do is to take our defenseman up to the box because the defenseman has no help. If you take your defenseman closer to the goal, the goalie can come out and interfere with you. You can have a quick slide. The further you take your defenseman out, the better off you are. You want to isolate your defenseman. And a couple moves we want to talk about. So something I like to do, I like to take my defenseman up high and give him the rocker move. And I know Glenn is famous for this. This is just the best move in lacrosse. If you can get this move down, you can score a lot of goals. And what you do is you take your defenseman up high on the right side and just give him a rocker. And he'll put that stick right over there, and that gives you time to shoot. And I can't stress enough how many goals he scored on that move. Every defenseman, once he's up on that island, he's by himself. In the defenseman's mind, he knows he's by himself. He knows he has no help. So he's playing you hard. When he sees that stick go back and your shoulders back, his stick comes behind you. And that's what you want. You want the defenseman's stick behind you.
It's a real quick move. When you're driving to the goal and you're going north, it's just you just plant that foot, just bring it back to the right, and then all of a sudden what he's going to do is he's going to bring his stick from the box technique over to the other side, and then that way you have plenty of room to face the goal and get a nice shot off. Whereas if he was playing, you got to be rough in there. If you just take that one step, he's going to take his pressure off because he thinks you're inside rolling. Because, that's basically a setup move for an inside roll or a roll dodge. Okay?
Another thing I want to talk about too is we're starting to do a lot of Towson is we're starting to, yes sir.
One question about that. One, you attack him as a ball, point behind, take him out to the wing, like you said, then use that rock to go out of the wing.
Right. Yes sir.
Make like you go back behind and take the inches.
Right. So Coach Runk likes to take his line and make a box about 10 yards on either side, left or right. And he wants us to take our defenseman there every time.
And this just gets you comfortable with getting them out on the island. We call it the island. And, that way, you just feel like as soon as you get past that plane, you're like, I gotta make a move. Everybody's in a panic, It's like, I gotta do some,
You take it short, boxing,
Sure.
you take it further, go line, stand it up higher.
Yes, sir.
Higher, you go on the fence.
What we do is, if this is the plane of the goal right here, we just draw a box right here and right here. We'll just have two lines, two lines of defensemen, et cetera, et cetera. We just have, two lines of attack, two lines of defense. You just blow the whistle, just, your regular 101 drill. And he's just making a quick V cut to the point behind, and then he's just going to, run up to the island and get himself comfortable and just work on your type of moves. I'm not, he doesn't say necessarily you have to do this every time, but in this drill, this is what we're working on to give ourselves plenty of area to shoot or to make a feed.
Where are those two small boxes in respect to the penalty box? Is that half field or is that the penalty box?
This is the midfield line right here.
Okay, so where's your penalty
Okay,
box?
this between here and here is 7 yards. Okay.
Plus, another thing is when you take your defenseman up on the island, a lot of teams, what Carolina likes to do, is they like to slide from the backside. They figure once your back's turned, this man's going. Well, since you're this far out, your defenseman has at least 15 to 20 yards to run to get to you. And what we started doing in the second half of when we were playing Carolina is we noticed that my man was leaving to get Glenn when he was turning his back, but he had 15 yards to run across the field. So what Glenn was doing was just rifling the ball over me. And it just makes it harder on the defense, just by taking your man up on an island. Something else I want to stress. What we like to do at Towson is we're going a wheel offense. And we like to take the defensemen that normally play behind the goal and take them in front of the goal. I think anytime a defenseman is in front of the goal, he doesn't know exactly where he is. Some of the best defensemen around, I know once you take them above the goals, they get a little disoriented because they don't have their keeper talking to them, they don't have the cage right next to them, they don't feel comfortable up on the goal. So what I like to do is I like to invert the defenseman and take him up top and work against him up top in front of the goal, where he's not used to that. I think that's a good advantage. Glenn, you want to show them the 504 drill? Last thing, right?
Like real quick, to understand, we did all this. We showed you these little tips, fundamentals and stuff, and you probably heard it a lot. But like we said, pressure when you get to high school and college as an attackman, I think it's one of the most difficult things to face, because one of your main couple objectives as an attackman is control the tempo of the game, and create situations, and just be kind of like the quarterback on the team type of thing. And what we have is, and it really helped us towards the end of the year last year, we did a 5-on-4 drill. Nothing fancy, but what we did is we pinched everybody in a little bit.
It's a great drill.
Okay, we had attacking here, midi here, and these are just lines. We just had This is the midfield line. Okay, we just had 2 midi lines. We had our crease attackman in there. Okay, and then we had 4 defensemen. Okay, and what we do is let's say Coach Clark's throwing the ball out today. Coach Clark will be right here. He throws the ball in the midi, and what we do is we work our 5 against those 4 inside the box. And I can't stress, this really helps us as attackmen learn to read the defense. And that's what you have to do. You got to learn to read the defense.
Yeah, 2-on-1 situation.
It does a couple things. It helps your defense learn how to slide, because what we're going to do is we're going to move the ball, and these 4 people, boom, 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 okay? Then we're going to have our crease attack, okay? These 4 people. Now when the ball goes down to the side, he might cut down here. Might go back up top, we'll swing it over to one side, then he cuts up. It gets our crease attackman to move without the ball. It gets our attackmen down low that are going to play, not behind, but on goal line extended. We don't give this a rule, but we play on this drill on the wing. And what it does is it gets us to work with the middies as well as look for the crease attackman. Okay? So all this is, we call it a 5-on-4 drill, but it's not necessarily middies coming down the field attacking the defense. We just have 2 lines set up top. We throw the ball around, get the defense to move. They work on their slides, and the attack, it helps them work with the middies.
I think another important point is that for your attackmen to rotate in each other's position, what we do is we rotate with 4 attackmen, and each time we switch. Lenny would play on the right side. So what happens is every two, we bump, and then Lenny would play the crease, and that way you get a feel for each other's position. You know where the open feeds will be. You know where the shot's coming from. So each time you're not just playing your own position. You're playing someone else's position. Right. Right. It's 2-on-1.
Right, and then, say for instance, the ball goes down the bottom left. This midi right here might slide down here, and say for instance, the ball went down this side. This midi might slide down here. Just to get a rotation, get the defense moving, and get the feel for open areas as a tackle. And, Coach Clark asked me to do this. It was the first time I ever got up in front of a bunch of coaches, and I don't know, it wasn't that bad. Anyway, I just get him off. Well, it feels good telling you what to do.
Coach Smith,
Yes, sir.
just curious, are you having your knees cut through crease here, or are you just having blue balls?
They're basically hanging out on that. And maybe they might just make the slide down to the wing or up to the middle. But it's just to get a feel. It's really for the attack, but it's everybody as well. Because you get that movement. And you see so many sophisticated offenses in college. I'm not going to name any teams. And they just, like, what? And I'm sitting down the other end, I'm like, what are they doing? They're just, you got to get the ball, I think, in a flow. Or a simple back shot. Just start it over again. Any questions? All right, thanks a lot.
Here at Towson, we've been very fortunate the last couple of years to have a couple of really great defensemen, and these two are two of the best we've ever had. One is Carl Birnick, who's a captain for us this year. He was an All-American last year. He's from Loyola High School. Carl is very aggressive, go out, chop people in half, go after them. Very aggressive type defenseman. Okay? And the other speaker is going to be Steve Kisslinger. Steve was a second-team All-American for us last year. If he had been eligible this year because the goofy NCAA rule had caught up with him, I personally think he would have been the best. He still might be. Would have been the best player in college lacrosse this year, without a doubt. He played this fall, did great, and you can see him developing, and he would have been the best player in college lacrosse. He could play. I think he could probably play attack in a box league and do just as well if he was playing defense or midfield or whatever it is. He's got one of his magic sticks. Best takeaway defenseman I've ever seen. He's also a goofball and everything else, but you know what he has done in the last season or so. He started to become a complete defenseman. That was, from my perspective, that was the most disappointing part of not being able to coach him.
My poke check can be right through his gloves. You want to aim for the bottom hand and his upper hand, right in this general area. Because the thing I like most about the poke check is you hardly ever get called for a foul. I mean, it's one of the safest checks you can use. You start swinging around doing this kind of stuff, the referee sees that and he doesn't like it. When you throw a poke check, you miss his gloves, this is what you get. And if you keep hitting him in the rib cage and the stomach, he's not going to want to take you anymore. That's the thing you want to do. So when he comes, I want to throw it right through here. My goal is trying to get his stick. Okay. So when he comes through, the next part of the poke check, it comes through. You never do this. I mean, that's like one of the worst things you can do, because if he does something, I don't have the strength in my one arm to stop him. Okay, so you always want to keep two hands on your stick. So I'm down low, he starts driving, I throw my poke check through, and just keep going. Okay, another thing about the poke check is you don't want to have a big wide grip. That doesn't do any good for you. If you're doing this kind of stuff and stretching, you always want to keep a nice short grip so you can go in. Okay, and a lot of defense, what they're doing with the poke check is you're going in like this, and the head's turning as you're coming in, so you're getting more. So if you throw it in like this, you're not getting anything. Okay, so when you come in with the poke check, you turn it, you catch more of his glove or the stick. The next part, as he comes through the poke check, distance with first. You have your box technique. And that's pretty much your strong hand. When he drives to your strong hand, he comes in. When he comes in like this, to my left hand, I'm here, so I'm boxing him now, okay? One thing about the box is like you want to have an L. Okay? You always want to be between the goal and your man. See, here he is. And a lot of defensemen, what they'll do is they'll try to push him out with this one hand. And that's where you get an attack when he's overpowering his defenseman. You see him pushing like this. What you want to do is take this hand and almost use this as a lever. It's almost like doing a bench press, pushing the weight off the body. So you use both at the same time. You push him out, you get the distance again, then you can start doing your poke checks once again, okay? When Steve comes in, and I have the box technique, and he starts to roll, what I want to do, okay, once he does that, I don't want to, like John Blatchy was talking about how they do the rocker move. I want to let him go a little bit. When he does that rocker move, I don't want to bring my stick over right away because then he's got me. What I like to do is let the guy move and let him commit himself. Then I take the drop step at the same time, with my drop step like this at the same time, I'm throwing my stick over my left-hand shoulder. As I'm doing that, so this is what happens. I drop, I swing over, and then I can bring it back down, and I'm fine. Then I'm playing my weak side defense. If he switches back again, it's the same principle. Here I'm playing, he switches, I go here and down. It's like one quick move. Boom. Now when I'm playing on my weak side defense like this, my attackman switches back again, throw it over my opposite side shoulder, drop step, and I'm back down in my box. All it is just switching shoulders and bringing the stick down. It's really easy. One check that you can use, it's pretty sound, and yeah, you just have to be in the right position. It's the rifle check. You heard Glenn Smith mention it earlier. It's about attacking to keep your arm in a funny position, something like you're here. You know, so then where a rifle check is you're taking this hand. You want to have a really close grip. You know, this is a pretty good grip right about here. What you do, you take this hand and you punch. Just punch out. It comes across his body. It should be quick. Okay, you don't want to like do this kind of stuff and then you just roll. You want to keep good position. It's just one quick snap of the wrist and throw out here. So boom, like that. Okay, so now when I'm playing weak side defense, I can do the same thing. It's a two-handed wrap.